All right, boys. Day one. We're technically test, real beta. Now we're legit.
This is it.
This is it.
I'm glad you actually planned this one so I could dress not like a dirtbag.
No, sir. You were the one that texted me and go, hey, outfit check. Fit check. Make sure everybody brings their work
My
stuff.
wrinkly shirt last time.
This guy, he just come from Flagstaff, Arizona.
My
You just
goodness.
drove in.
Flagstaff, Arizona. Got back at 12 o'clock last night. Woke up at 6 a.m. We're ready to rock.
I gotta fly out after this one. So
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas for 5 a.m. tomorrow morning for Coco Love. Just getting in the Tesla truck, and I'm going to try it. Vinny, my partner, he's our CEO, said that he started in Vegas and woke up in Long Beach at 2 a.m. And I was just like, self-driving.
yeah.
Where
The
it has
technology is insane now.
So that's a kind of a little story of like how we can get into this and just saying like, how did we even get here, right? Like, so I think one of the biggest things that I really want to know is just like, when did you know you were taking that path, right? Like, I actually don't know your background before MagnaFlow. I mean, you were a car sales guy, which is impressive in certain sense. And then I was just a food and beverage guy, a really weirdo. So should we range on bow to see who goes first, or we're just going to let age before beauty?
Age before beauty.
Got him.
He's
well,
gonna
you
get me
are
back
the oldest
later.
one, so
I don't look it.
that's debatable.
He's gonna get me back later. You already know.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna grill you. Remember, he's our grit. So yeah, where did you get your start?
So I actually started my career in the tech industry. So I worked.
Did not see that
Yeah,
coming.
so
Yeah,
my dad was one of the VPs at Sony for backup for the tape division back when servers used to be backed up by tape, and then he was one of the VPs at Western Digital and stuff. So I had a couple tech jobs, and I was kind of in that side I thought to be really boring, So in 2006, I answered a job posting on Monster.com and started working at Celine.
No way.
So I started there doing customer
Totally
service.
age yourself with Monster.com.
I know, right?
Yeah. Not to be confused with Monster Energy these days, but yeah.
So I started there working in customer service, and pretty quickly was basically managing the Eastern region for the aftermarket division. So I did that for 3 years, and I kind of, 2009 I think was obviously the big collapse in our industry and the economy overall. So it was really tough, and I kind of split my time in between tech and automotive again. I was working at Vizio for a while, and then I got back into it and was actually working for Shelby Superformance, and then helped start White Line USA. So when that whole, basically they brought that brand.
That's an
to the
Australian
US.
brand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I basically.
Was that with Marty and them back then, or was it another group?
Marty wasn't really we were in the same building as Marty. He helped us out and everything like that. When we did it,
I love that dude.
Yeah,
He's
so
rad.
we were in that building with Turbo Smart for a while.
Weirdest thing ever.
He's,
you
he's
look at
jumping
Marty,
around everywhere. That's insane.
Yeah.
Tech industry, you got Superformance.
there are a lot of people in our space that came from IT-ish. You know what I mean? Like Vaughn's one of them.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of one of those things. When I was a kid, I had a love for cars. Had a Hot Rod magazine subscription since I was 8 years old. But it would just. It was kind of more of a fun little passion thing. It wasn't really in my mind at the time something I was doing. I wanted to be a computer programmer and do video games or something at that time, But then I just kind of
I
got
can't
into
envision
college.
him being a computer nerd.
Got into college and then just
Did you
hating.
have the Bronco the entire time? Were you an off-road guy then?
Well, my whole family always had F-Series trucks. My mom, we had an '89 Bronco that we used to go all over in, and then she had a classic. You get this? She had F100 custom that was like custom painted with Boyd Magwit rims on it. That had like at
Boyd's
one
back
point,
in the day.
I remember like at one point it was painted, custom painted purple and pinstriped, and had a mural of a Pegasus on the hood, just like full like low like
Rap guys, you know what paint
Yeah.
is, right? Like,
Yeah.
man,
So I mean, yeah. So I jumped around for a little bit, and then after White Line, I kind of ended up at Magnaflow, and I think that was kind of, starting at Superformance. That was basically like the last time I ever did. When I started there, that was like I'm not doing tech jobs anymore.
Yeah.
And after that, I've stayed in automotive. So it's been a
We'll
wild
talk
ride.
about Type S in a little bit because I think you did in Project S. You did some amazing shit over there, and which has led us to everything that you're doing at Vision and the parent
Yeah.
company. But I think Ian,
completely different. That's really cool already off the back to
Yeah.
show there's different ways to, because I wouldn't say I went the more conventional way, but I went, lack of better terms, the more like normie way. Like I didn't, get this backdoor access into the aftermarket world immediately, or it was more just I kind of curated my own timeline through social media, and that's another thing that your generation might not have had. Not might not, definitely didn't have. Whereas, I kind of started just posting on TikTok.
should we charge him like $1 every time he says our generation? It's a little. How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
41.
How old are you?
25.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely like outside later. We're taking him in the alley or something.
But honestly, taking it back before car sales and dealership world, I worked at Napa Auto Parts, and really the pure decision that I wanted to just only do automotive stuff and do what I love, it's my passion, my hobby, and do it for a career, was I got a job as a lifeguard for a summer. And conventional or not, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to do something I actually love. And even if it might not specifically be something I love, at least it's in the genre of something I love.
I think it's an interesting point because I kind of remember one of the last IT job or last tech job that I had. Well, one of them. The last tech job I had before I went to Saline, I remember like working basically like essentially like on a production line for like backup drives, and I was like loading all the firmware and stuff in it, and I just like,
Wait, you were in IT at Celine?
no.
Okay.
No, but just like working on this like production line, like loading firmware and just being like, this sucks. I fucking hate this. Like, I don't want to do this. And I went and I quit that job without like having another job. And it was kind of, I think at like some point when you had like I think it's common that a lot of people basically decide they enter this industry because they're passionate about it, and they want to work in it because they're passionate about it, which I
Right.
think is different than a lot of industries. Like people get jobs because they need a job and they don't really care about the industry, or it's whatever,
they
like
have
they're
to.
open to it, and I don't want to say it like just such a disdain way, but maybe they just don't care, like whether they're working in pharmaceuticals or IT or whatever tomorrow. But I think people specifically getting into like this type of job in automotive is because you want to work in automotive.
Absolutely.
So back to you. So
And so Napa, I started to see the downhill, not to offend anybody, but I was working with 50, 60-year-old, almost retired people. This was like, that was it. And I was like, this isn't it. Like, this isn't, I was going to school, but I was probably going to drop out. And that's when I checked out a Porsche dealership that was opening by my house. I didn't apply the typical way because they didn't even have applications open. I actually put it in their FAQ on their website. I put my kind of resume in there, and the GM reached out to me. He was like, this is the most creative way someone's applied for a job before. And he's like, he hired me. It was just a porter position at the time, but that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be in the space where I could actually be hands-on cars, even if it was a dealership. I think dealerships are the easiest barrier of entry because there's so many. There's so many types, so many brands. And dealerships have so many angles, right? So immediately I was like, I was already doing TikTok. I was already doing social media just on my own. And so immediately at the dealership, I started just doing car videos. I started, brand new 992 Carrera, started doing video on that. And then they saw my passion in that, and they're like, wait, you're actually generating some sales, because as a porter, I was bringing in probably 1 or 2 people a month just through my TikTok channel. And so they're like, I know you're young. I think I was 19 or 20 at the time. They said, do you want a chance at selling cars? And that's a huge step up from a porter position. And I did it. I was, what's the worst that can happen?
You've told me famously,
Yeah.
like, I know his salary personally. I kind of both know both your salaries,
Yeah.
but like, he would call me up and like, so how would you position me getting a raise? We'd have like a good conversation, and I sit there and like, and then he just reminds me, I know he's like, Ernie, I'm like, what's up, bud? And he's just like, I made so much more selling cars.
Yeah.
To be fair, I got away with it because it was kind of the COVID era of cars, and everybody kind of knows the markups and everything like that. But even after that, I was still making, people would have sat there and been like, I'm good for life. We're good. There's no reason to walk away from that. And 2 years doing that, I eventually got to the point where this isn't for me. Car sales is you have to be a different breed to do it. I'll give all props to the guys who are career car salesmen. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And that was my moment with your IT job. I stepped away, no job lined up, anything. I was like, I'm done. I thought maybe I'll go back to school. And I kind of sat there and was like, I'm just going to grow my social media for 6 months. And then that's when I met a really good friend that was my first aftermarket job per se. It was with 3-piece and Heritage Wheel.
Yeah.
Started at nothing.
Yeah.
It was bare minimum wage. It was just I want to learn about this industry. I'm even more passionate about the
3-piece was a big
aftermarket.
deal.
And I was able to take that risk, I think, because of the money and stuff I made previous job, whereas maybe a lot of people can't. Or that's why I would say if you're younger, take that risk now.
This kid's got a GT350 and a Tacoma. I was just like, what in the hell? How much money were you making? Why'd you leave?
I'd wake up, 12-hour days. You would have customers. You would think it's the greatest deal ever. You'd have a really good time with them. You'd spend a couple hours with this person, and I'm very, I'll bond with somebody, especially if you're talking about your life story.
Yeah.
And then they would end up hating you because $1 was charged more than they wanted it, know? So.
Well, before we get into where you are now, both of you, because we kind of paused right before that, right? Like, so just thinking through both your statements, right? Like, you both interacted with glass ceilings. You just got to this glass ceiling. It looked so much better, right? And for our audience, like, when you're in that situation, you're hearing it live right now from you two of, hey, you listened with your heart, you listened with your gut, you didn't choose the money, you really just went with what you were passionate with. I think that's the key trait you need to be in automotive because that's really what it is, right? Like, there's a lot of egos, but the passion outweighs the ego. There's a lot less money, passion outweighs it. So if I'm with it. I think if you end up like living your life and being happy and you love what you do, you end up not working, right? I think the other thing was unique resumes, which was really smart. It's interesting now, like even today, like I remember back in the day, I had somebody relabel a NOS 22-ounce resealable bottle. He went and did a whole new label, and it was his resume on the label.
Actually impressive.
And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of have to hire you. That was, but the thing is like I did. Mm-hmm. He sucked. Right. And I was like, dang it. There was no LinkedIn back then. There was no social media accounts where you're doing it. Right. But then you have like, this one's got a high IQ. So like, I leave him alone with that shit. But like, he just really follows a corporate mold, but in a real like grit fashion. I mean, that's going to end up being a fucking shirt.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's what I've always like, that's why guys like he and I always kind of like gravitate to each other. Cause that's what we've always found. Like, we have a corporate level mindset, but we're like, hey, let's just be real. Like, let's be human. One, it's the automotive industry. Two, this isn't the financial industry. And I think it's really the key piece. So like, now that you guys have taken all those in, right? Like, I think the biggest question is just like, what's the number one thing you learned? Like, you were at say Lee, like the S7's legendary. Right. And the Mustang program's legendary. Doug Nagy was there and he was running the entire motorsports program. He became my rally car driver. He was my crew chief. Right. He ran my car. And then ironically enough, when you were at Western Digital, John Coyne was the CEO. And he was my teammate on the rally team under Doug Nagy on his private property.
That just shows how small the car industry is.
Yeah, super. I mean,
there's going to be a lot of this across
stories.
every episode. When we bring guests in, there's going to be a lot of overlap.
So, you're at a really great corporation. I love those guys. They've really taken good care of you. The product is outstanding. I have to be biased because you know who my best friend is on the other end. And then I'm really proud of the family that you're with, but I'm going to ask you both, and we're going to start with Jared first because age before beauty.
He hasn't hit back with anything yet. That
Oh no, it's
gonna
hurt. It's gonna hurt both of us.
Just waiting.
Day one, like, what was that thing that you carried from IT to saline to Superforms to White Line, and then Magnaflow, then your Project X Type S, like where everybody knows who you are.
I don't know that there was anything that was like a day one thing, but I think definitely by the end of my time at Celine, I learned very quickly that like you have to have your own personal brand that is a representation of who you are and your ethics and your morals, because not every company that you work for always has those things.
Yeah.
And especially, like, it's not really an industry secret. Like, working at Celine was awful. I tell people it's like the automotive equivalent of going through NOM twice. Like, like how bad they treated employees, how bad they treated vendors, how, like, that company was just, like, it was mind-blowing. I learned a lot, but a lot of it was, like, trial by fire.
Yeah.
And I have, like, people that are still friends. I have friends still to this day, obviously, people that I work there with, and I don't know that anyone that worked there is just like, so great to work there, right? Like, everyone, I think, really enjoyed the people, but I think there were times where, like, you caught yourself, like, being told something and telling that to a customer, and then realizing, like, these are lies I'm telling people, and they're mad at me. And when you go to the next place, do you want to be known as the liar? Like, if there were times where I'm like, I won't sell this part anymore. I think it's unsafe. It's an unsafe product. Someone's gonna get killed with this. Like, I'm not gonna do these things. Eventually, I think it just, again, you create your own personal brand that it follows your own code of ethics, and I think that people know you and they trust you, and that's kind of what helps you get down the line. Like, people know the type of person that you are, and when you go to a new company, what you bring with that.
Yeah, I can relate with you 100%. I mean, my last brand, which you both know who I was with, it was that. It was jeopardizing my rep. Right?
Yeah.
And then you look at it as like reputation, and I'm just like, what reputation? It's my legacy. Like, my kids are going to be doing this. My kids have Uncle Ian, right? And they got Uncle Jay. And it's just like, they call him J-Rad, right? And it's like, cool. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and, they say one thing and they don't do the other thing, right? And it's like, that when you get in a situation like that, there's a lot of steps, I believe, that you can stop before then, right? So, like, every time I take a CMO role on, I ask the CEO that hard-ass question. I'm like, I need you to understand, I need full tilt control, and I'm going to get your approval quarterly. Like, I'm spending your money to make you money. You need to get out of my way. Yeah. If you can't sign up for that, this isn't the job for me, right? Because I need to take control of my representation. And as a C-suite officer, I need my path to success to keep up with everybody else, unless you're going to bottleneck us. And then, quite frankly, you're not the CEO I want to be led by. And I've seen that happen to me twice now, and best bullets I've ever dodged. One of them was Liquid Death. Yeah, that shit was scary. Like, it was a heavy budget. So I always value those kind of stories, and your rep perceives you, look at you, like we're 20 plus years in the industry.
Feels weird saying that.
Because you're fucking old. That's why that's why you're going first.
Man, yeah.
He just gave me the eye. He's gonna get me.
It might not happen this episode. It's gonna happen eventually.
We got 3 more to go.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Just wait till my caffeine kicks in. Too late, buddy.
I don't think I've personally been in the industry long enough to have the same scenario where I'm trapped or have to worry about my legacy yet. Obviously, it's something I'm thinking of, and it's something that is very important, especially as you move throughout the industry. But I'm incredibly lucky where I am right now. They have a lot of creative freedom, especially for how young I am. That's, I think, very rare.
Right. It's also rare to have a Vahe, Vahe being, you both are so hungry.
He's only a couple years older than me, and absolute creative freedom over certain brands.
You're both nuts.
And we're both nuts for it. We live, sleep, and breathe these brands. Him a little bit more than I do, which is actually insane to talk about.
I was gonna say it's tough to believe.
It's hard to believe. I've seen this dude's screen hours compared to mine. Mine is high. I don't know if you guys. I average about 11 hours a day.
But again, to Jared's point, legacy, right? That's literally Vahe's family, brothers, father, etc. Right? And then he's carrying a legacy. He's got 2 boys, right? And he's making sure that legacy carries on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of that is trust with building these brands. Like Katana, been around since the 90s, but off and on, they haven't done a ton of marketing until recently, the past couple of years. So we're kind of building that legacy of Katana, being like, hey, this brand has been around for a while, and kind of giving a name to it. And it goes back to me, and same thing with the car dealership. I didn't want to be there because it was kind of hurting my soul. Some of these people who, shouldn't have been buying cars or shouldn't have been here at all. I'm not the one to giving financial advice, and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to sell you a car at the end of the day, and I just hated that for myself. Whereas with the wheel industry, it's almost like I'm giving you guys something fun. Everybody enjoys it. I get feedback all the time that's like, dude, this is insane. I'm surprised this hasn't been done before. So it's stuff like that where I think I'm given a lot of creative freedom, a lot of trust right now where I am. So I honestly can't complain, but again, I'm still young and still lots of time to learn. But I think it's huge. It's finding a place you're comfortable and finding a place that you can have that creative freedom to kind of grow and that trust as well, because that's everything. It leads you to future jobs, and obviously I want to be here as long as possible. And it makes my time more enjoyable, makes me more excited to do what I do, like traveling back-to-back weekends. I'm not getting back going, I gotta go travel in another week or so. I'm looking forward to going to Formula Drift, this event. I'm looking forward to going to off-road this event. It just makes everything a lot more enjoyable.
So we're near the end of this episode, and we got to box in and pit in, and I think it's just like with the show, what we always want to do is always like, okay, what if that kid was right here, right? And what if it's our sons, or what if it's one of our up-and-coming rising industry people, and for me, it's just like this being the first topic, it means a lot to me because like I love the way Jared's perspective is honor, representation, and like carrying a legacy, right, of whoever is close to him. And then for you, it's trust, right? And then I really I kind of have to stick to it. I think we all agree to it, but I love your perspective so that everybody else can see it too. Like, I think mine was just passion, and I think I share that with everybody else. Like, that's so like broad, but the reality truly is like, even in the days where you're looking check by check, I look at it and just say, look, like as long as I continue to do the 11 hours, then it'll be okay.
I think this industry only has like one true like gatekeeping mechanism that I approve of, and that's that like, if you join this industry and you want to be here, there's an expectation you have passion for it. Yeah. Because like people that come in this industry that don't have passion for it are like smelt out immediately and not wanted here.
And there's a lot of them still today. Like just the past 2 years, I've really helped a lot of people. I've helped people in 6 figures amounts, almost touching 7. And the old Ernie was like, I want recognition for that or respect. I'm from New York. Like, you fucking have to respect it, period. Like, I made your life different. I could have changed your life. Yeah. Like, I just watched we watched a movie last night. This guy, it's a true story. He meets this big singer, sings a song in front of him, and the singer fucking takes it. And the first thing that the guy wrote the song, played the song in front of him, it's his song, and said, if you put my name on that song, it could have changed my life. And it ended up not changing his life, right? Like, and it's just like, I know for a fact that I have changed a lot of people's lives. And truth be told, I was looking at my wedding invites for my wedding, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm really caring that homeboy wants to be there.
I think it's very, very easy to get in that moment where you get put on top and you're, oh no, I got here myself. There's nobody helped me.
But there's dope people like, I'm going to call him out. Rome Charpentier is one of the fucking coolest people alive. He is one of the most down-to-earth people, and that's someone you definitively need in this industry continuously. Kyle Busch is not one of them. All right? Sorry. Not sorry. I join a big group alumni there of people that have been burned.
I'm sure there will be people that agree with you on that.
Yeah, and it's just like, and so everybody that's watching, they have to understand, like, that's going to come no matter what industry you're in. It's going to happen no matter where you go. I love Jared's mentality of just staying true to yourself, because that's who he is, and we're going to get it later. And I think, Ian's just the grit and the work and pushing it in there. For me, it's passion, and I think that's what you guys need. I think the last thing, a lot of these kids are probably watching, like, do you need a degree for this? My answer is no. I dropped out sophomore year of high school.
High school.
Did
you ever?
You never knew that?
No, I did not know that.
I did get my GED for my dad.
Okay.
Just for my dad, but after that, I was like, I did. Ironically, I went to Atlantic City Community College for 2 days.
Wow.
I walked back to my car.
No,
this is not for me.
I lasted a little bit longer. It was a year and a half of community college.
But this is an interesting question between two. Our generation, I would almost argue, it would have been helpful. His generation, I don't think they need it.
I think my answer on this has changed a lot, and I think it just depends what you want to do. I think that 10 years ago, I would have probably said it doesn't matter. I don't think that it should matter, but I think that now with the corporatization of this industry and private equity coming in and everything, like that style of business is now looking for people to be like, do you have an MBA? Do you have a degree? Do you have these things? And a lot of times these are businesses are being run, and HR departments are being run by like check boxes on a spreadsheet instead of understanding or respecting people.
Yeah.
And so, what I would say is that, do you need it to break into this? No. But what I would say is that if you can work for a company that has an educational program that they'll pay for you to go back to school and get that, you should take advantage of it.
Hell yeah. And we need more companies like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
he's going to say just make a social media account.
Yeah, right. I think it goes back on your point. It depends where you want to be in this industry.
Yeah.
Being in the media and marketing space, honestly, I don't think so. I think it goes down.
I'm gonna tell you where you're wrong right now. I'm gonna spit a little
I'm excited to hear
because right now you're in the 25-year-old. I'm hustling, I'm busting, and I work for a company that's this big, and I'm working these shows and doing things. But as a marketer, when you get to a point where you're like, there's a 25-person marketing department. And I'm not doing shows anymore. I'm sending people to do shows. I have to build a budget. I have to have a strategy, and this comes down to accountability. And Ernie, I think you'll understand this, is like when you start to manage budgets for marketing that are upwards of $1 million, the people spending that money will look at you and wonder if you're qualified for that. And sometimes like the people that are deciding whether you're qualified about that have never spoken a fucking word to you.
And they're not qualified to even make that a call on you, but they're on the C-suite.
Again,
I remember your email. I remember your email you sent me. It's funny how the three of us literally like call each other for advice. Like you called, we were in the car and we talked about your one email.
Yeah. And
how would you handle it? And I saw the emails. I was like, that's pretty much how you would handle it. Yeah. I literally drafted your email.
And by the way, we figured that out. The situation is,
you went the high road.
We went the high road.
Exactly.
And I think that's important. That's a whole nother conversation that we can have. But from my perspective right now, I think at least to get into the industry, no, you do not need a degree.
Yeah.
I will say, however, that if I did do the college route, if I went through that, use it for the connections. I've seen friends who just graduate and now they're out struggling to find a job. I have friends who've used their internship programs. I've had them, use whatever connections that college has, and they have a great job now. So I would say if you are going to go to the college route, absolutely push for more than just your degree. You have to nowadays because it's so competitive out there. Push for more, like go find that internship that your college helps provide. Go find whatever connection that your college might have.
Right.
So,
and I think to wrap it up, right, just to land it down, I think the biggest thing that I hear from both of you is invest, right? Mm-hmm. From Jared's point, I want to wrap it up because like you two intimately know what I've done. Mm-hmm. And for our viewers, like, I don't know how you put it. I've done a lot, right? Mm-hmm. I still do a lot, do too much. And I think a lot of it is I've always believed in internships. If you take it, go. Mine was I interned for Brian Fox at Fox Marketing. What's up, Brian? Love you. Craziest guy on the East Coast, right? And then even Fusion Marketing back then with the other. These were car clubs, Ian. Car clubs.
Wow.
They were car clubs getting sponsors. Then Brian just went and built this whole marketing agency from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, talk about a guy that just like, I'd like to have him on the podcast.
Oh, I'd love to have him. Fox. Come on.
Yeah,
Get
he'll do it.
Oh, right.
I can
He'll
get
do
on
it.
a plane right
I'll-
now. Be like, I got to hang
get
out
your
with
ass
Jared and
out
Ernie.
He's sitting there talking shit. The amount of hustlers that we saw, some of them were, I would say 80% of them were grimy. The rest of them are getting better. So we're seeing that, the legacy before us, like the Nick Vujicic's of Falcon and et cetera, and Stan Chan over at Toyo, like they cleaned up the next generation really well. I think the biggest thing is that they invested, right? They invested in themselves, but they also invested in the company. So I think that's the biggest thing to wrap this conversation up is no matter how you got here, the reason why we're all standing here is because we invested in ourselves and in the industry. And anybody that's trying to come into this industry that's not willing to invest, don't come in. And the best part is when you do invest, you could turn up like me, like Jared. Jared has equity. He has equity in some companies. He has shares in the companies. I'm sure the family is going to forever take care of you if you stay in that realm. And I have 13 companies, right? And it's insane. So I think how we got here is because we were passionate and we invested. So.
Well, sorry for the 30 minutes there. You could have just summed it up with those 2 words.
That's what everybody's here to watch,
Yeah,
man.
no,
So,
it's the stories are the greatest part.
awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.
How do we wrap out? How do you want to wrap out?
I don't know.
We are Motorvation.
We'll figure it out.
We are Motivate. You're fired. There, we wrap out.
Yeah, not for nothing, but leave the ideas to us.
Age of review.
You're just the brand. Remember, he's the brand manager. You're just the marketing guy.